one of the most claustrophobic films of all time with some of the scariest creatures of all time. This is The Descent. But we were led to believe that these are evolved cavemen. Nope. False. This is wrong completely. Here's what we know about these creatures. The crawlers, as they're called, are presented as being evolved over thousands of years in the caves. They lost their eyesight and developed exceptional hearing and smell, echolocation like bats. They have a crazy hunting style. They have very interesting physical characteristics that makes them look monstrous and humanoid than human. And they have a very specific social structure, okay? This is misleading. This is a fallacy created to fool you. There is a broader conspiracy at work here, folks, okay? The Descent films, the one thing I like about them is they really amplify my claustrophobia whenever I watch them. They have awesome monsters. They have this chick in the first movie who got left for dead. One of the most deserved deaths, supposed deaths, because she comes back in the sequel, unfortunately, of all time. Oh, I'm fucking the dead husband of the main character, and I accidentally killed a chick, and I won't tell any of the females in the crew that we're about to die up in here. Yeah, go die. Go die. Juno. But she's brought back. And the one thing I'll say, even though the sequel's the same kind of shit all over again, it does hint at something broader at work. These creatures are not what you think they are. There is a theory that the crawlers are something else. I made this theory. If I find out that anyone else on the internet has made this theory before me, do not listen to them. They are a psyop sent from Hollywood to ruin my credibility, okay? I believe that the crawlers from The Descent are related to another set of creatures from a completely different film, a sci-fi horror, and it all ties together with a government conspiracy, a government operation to enhance human physiology for extreme environments, specifically space travel. Don't leave! Trust me on this. I'm not a schizophrenic. Entirely. Here's the evidence. I never say anything without backing it up. I might get a lot of shit wrong in my videos. I might not remember names or details properly. My audience always corrects me in the comments, and I always read them. But I do cocaine at the same time, so please pardon me. Here's the evidence. Evidence number one. This is supposed to be a closed cave system, right? This makes no fucking sense with the presence of the crawlers, okay? The movies hint at a sudden emergence of crawlers, not, oh, they've been here and evolved for thousands of years. No, hell no. There's no fossil record or indigenous lore. Think about it. No local legends, folklore, or indigenous warnings exist in the film about these humanoid cave monsters. Think about all the horror movies we've seen. If there's a Bigfoot in the forest or a monster in the ocean or something, there's always some kind of folklore that gives you exposition about the creature. Not in this movie. There's no archaeological evidence, no sightings, no bones, no evolutionary trail, nothing to explain their origin. That's for a reason, y'all. The Blair Witch, oh, there's some kind of folklore about this witch that's been here for hundreds of years, kidnapping kids, right? Not here. You would think there would be, logically, right? In The Descent Part 2, authorities reference the cave as previously unexplored, right? However, the presence of an entire population of crawlers, including infants, elders, this is a rapid colonization or an ejected population, not a millennia of beings that have been isolated in these caves, even though there's been no evidence of humans ever coming to these caves ever in all these years and no sightings of them. How could such a population with a community, how could it sustain itself without an inbreeding collapse or ecosystem support or outside genetic input? Logically, this is not coherent. A plausible answer is they weren't always here. They were dumped or bred in the caves recently. The crawlers show signs of engineered physiology. Okay, think of it. Pale, hairless skin, no pigments. They have echolocation like bats. They have a limb structure for wall climbing. They're like Spider-Man and Batman put together. They have non-human aggression and pack behavior, right? These are what you call hyper-adaptive traits. Too advanced for natural evolution in the limited amount of times that humans have been exploring the deep caves. In the context of human history and the exploration of deep caves, that's not a lot of time for humans to evolve like this. These aren't gradual mutations. They're extreme, sudden, and convergently designed for predation and darkness. Evolution doesn't move this fast, y'all. It does not move this fast or result in so many coordinated traits unless it was artificially accelerated, like a mutation serum would. Keep that in mind. None of this logically makes sense, their existence in these caves. The crawlers don't forage, build, or show signs of culture whatsoever. They hunt like predators, despite having children and all this shit, right? But they don't seem to store food or care for their young with long-term strategy. It's just kill, feed, repeat. In the dark. Their pack behavior is unnaturally aggressive, almost zombie-like in its disregard for self-preservation. This is not evolved survival. Not at all. The military and authority figures in part 2 act sus. They act so sus, bro. The sheriff is oddly insistent. He wants to go back to the caves systems again and again, even when it makes no procedural sense and there's clearly no rescue team, despite the danger. This is a cover-up. A freaking cover-up or a containment mission. Maybe the authorities already knew about this shit and were there to eliminate the witnesses from seeing anything, right? In the Descent Part 2, a local man knocks out a survivor and drags her back into the cave, feeding the system. This implies that he knows what's down there and is cooperating with it. He's a government plant, this character, in Part 2. He's a government fucking plant, okay? That is he and the authorities, they're all tied together in a vast government conspiracy. Here's the theory. The crawlers were former humans, injected with the serum meant to test adaptation under extreme environmental pressure. But something went wrong. They started becoming animalistic. So the government sealed them underground after the project failed, or these creatures started escaping containment and tried to cover up the entire thing. And because they didn't have a facility big enough, they were like, okay, we're gonna launch these beings into this deep cave structure. That's what we're gonna do, because there's something about their physiology that is attuned to adapting to these environments. We're gonna put them here and keep them there, keep them reliant, and we're gonna have safeguards, like authority figures, like local men who will kill and feed them to maintain order down there, right? We're gonna have soldiers that are secretly in on it. It's all fucking cabal. So, these creatures, whatever they were injected with, is a precursor to the enzyme used in Pandorum. What's the enzyme in Pandorum? In the movie Pandorum, the serum is an enzyme designed to accelerate human evolution, enabling colonists to adapt to the new planet Tennis. However, this accelerated evolution has a dark side, causing colonists to mutate into cannibalistic creatures. Does that sound familiar? They're very similar. They're in the dark. They have children and all this shit. They have the same kind of family dynamics. They're killers. Predators first. There's almost nothing human about them. Cannibals. Wall crawlers. Everything about them is almost the same. I believe that these creatures in Descent were part of a trial run that was a decades-long operation, because Pandorum exists in it started in 2050 and then the space travel happened and they were in space for like hundreds of years or something, right? I believe that these creatures, the serum they were injected with, was used as a precursor, as a base for the new serum in Pandorum, okay? And remember, in Pandorum, Earth is uninhabitable. So between the Descent and this, the government figured something out. They knew, either they knew the Earth was dying, or they had a hand in it, or they didn't know about any of that shit and they just created a serum for soldiers, I guess. And that serum was later adapted and retrofitted for space. So it's not the exact same serum, because they don't, obviously these creatures look different. They have some differences than the crawlers, and their environment's also different than deep caves. But it's related, y'all. It's related to Pandorum. The Descent and Pandorum are part of the same universe. That's the theory. It makes sense, and I believe in it wholeheartedly. All right? If you want to know more about what the Pandorum really is and how the psychological disorder that's known as Pandorum also ties into this enzyme and the serum, you can watch my video on Pandorum over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.